Welcome to the Wild Diary. In this series of short films, I'll be exploring wildlife throughout the UK and finding the best places to see it throughout the year. So, as well as going out and experiencing some amazing UK wildlife out in the countryside, it's also nice sometimes to make the wildlife come to you. And this is quite a familiar sight to anyone who's ever done any moth trapping. Last night we had a very successful moth trap that ran throughout the night, and these jars contain some of the species that I couldn't identify immediately for identification and then release back into the garden. And it's a familiar setup with plenty of ID books, internet connection and a digital camera for taking photos and recording the different species. Some people run a moth trap every night of the year in the moth season and map out intricate patterns of distribution and timings when moths appear. I prefer to be a little less intensive than that and just run a trap on nights that I feel like having a few beers as well. It's a lovely social thing to do. Here's the pale peppered moth that we get down here, and then all sorts. We've got the ermine there, white ermine, a buff ermine next to it. We've got a lackey moth there, a female lackey that actually produced eggs in the moth trap last night, so I've put those into the garden so that they can hatch out and then the caterpillars can still survive. It's such an exciting, magical treat because you don't know what's going to turn up in the trap from one night to the next. You can either use a really expensive, elaborate, purpose-built moth trap with a mercury vapor bulb, which shines all night and brings the moths flying in, basically mimicking the moon, or you can have just as much fun and just as much luck by hanging up a white sheet and beaming a powerful torch at it. So you don't need expensive kit, you just need a little bit of time and get to grips with moths.